What's up, guys? It's episode 396. Welcome back to the show.
I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take sh- I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take sh- I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hey, what's up? It's Jacqueline. Welcome back to the show. Hi, how are you? Let's do a podcast. It's, what's the date? It's March 12th. March is over. It's May. It's, you know what? It's, I just blacked out. Like, how is it March? Actually, how is it March 12th? How are we halfway through March? So, anyways, happy March. When's St. Patrick's Day? I have no idea. We sprung ahead. So happy daylight savings week. How'd you do on Monday? Like trying to get to the gym. That was wild. Corey walks in the room. I had no idea it was daylight savings. I was oblivious. I hadn't heard about it. I didn't know about it. I didn't pay attention, whatever. And Corey walks in the room. It's 5 a.m. So it's 4 a.m. Let's be honest. Like it's 4 a.m. He walks in the room at 5 a.m. He's like, hi, honey, I changed the clocks. We went ahead an hour. And I'm like, who does that? Who wakes up on the morning of daylight savings? 5 in the morning, 4 in the, it's 4 in the morning, changes the all of the clocks in the house. He probably changed the one in my car and the one in his car. Like he went around the entire property and made sure every single clock was fixed. And that's how I started my Monday, my daylight savings Monday. And, yeah, like, okay. It was rough though. Like it's dark. Wait, it's darker in the morning now. Because technically, yeah, it's an hour before. What is reality? Reality is actually an hour before. So it's 11:30 a.m. right now. It's not 10. This shit fucks me up so much. And I guess every year, I don't know how many years this has been going on, but there's bipartisan teaming up of the parties. I don't know what you call it, Congress, the Senate, whoever makes the decisions and changes things. I guess there's a petition or some sort of thing they're trying to do in DC. Oh my God. I literally, it's like, get the political terms on some flashcards, learn how to say the thing you're trying to say correctly. I don't know who's in charge over in DC with this daylight savings, but apparently they've been teaming up every year to keep the spring forward version of daylight savings intact so we don't fall back in the winter where it gets darker earlier, right? So we keep the lightness lighter, longer. Oh my God, you get it. So I would love, obviously, for that to happen because the best thing about what's going on right now is it's, I'm ending the day and it's still light out and it's beautiful and it's, So, yeah, happy daylight savings week. To be honest, it's a cozy, rainy day. Southern California, I guess, has what they're calling an atmospheric river swirling around in the sky. And so we're getting dumped on this week. So I just want to chill. I just want to have even if this is honestly going to be like every other episode I record, okay? But the feeling I want inside of your body right now as a listener, the feeling I want you to have is like you just, what would like put you in the coziest, serene mood right now? Just feel your toes, hypothetically or figuratively, or imagine your toes are curled up in a fuzzy blanket, a weighted, heated, fuzzy blanket right now. You're on a cloud couch at your house, if you've got one, or your rich friend or your influencer friend, you're on their cloud couch, you're in a heated fuzzy blanket. Now imagine you're holding, I want you to feel this way the entire episode. Cause like, I just want to do a cozy episode. I'm not going to sit up straight. I'm not going to try hard. I'm just going to go down my list and we've got a lot of things to cover today. Okay. We're just going to casually go through this episode. And we're going to feel like we're in a fuzzy blanket, drinking a hot cocoa with lots of little mini marshmallows. Maybe there's a peppermint stick in there. Maybe I've got a plate of warm chocolate chip cookies on the side, or sourdough with butter and toast on the side, kind of like sitting up on the edge of the cloud couch because they've got these like ledges that are wide enough to fit a plate with a snack, you know? So you like, oh shit. So you've got, you know, that little setup. And then what's on the TV? Nothing makes me feel cozier than Claire Saffitz in her kitchen on YouTube baking. Maybe for you, it's Gilmore Girls. Maybe for you, it's March Madness. Maybe you're watching college basketball and you're relaxed and you're cozy and there's no agenda. There's no pressure. This isn't a work day. Maybe you're at work right now. You're not working right now. You're listening and you're relaxing and you're getting cozy. Southern California's got an atmospheric river. It's pissing me off. I literally just got a sunburn 2 days ago. I literally laid out on the deck with the dogs, planted some herbs. I had a little herb garden going. I was, you know, getting my breaking my, what was I saying? Get my back wet, breaking my, oh my God, oh my God. That's how my brain works. If you just connected that in your brain, you're also a piece of shit. Or you're also moving on. So yeah, it's crazy that now it's raining and it's spring and I don't know. So I've got some life updates. We're going to go through. Don't roll your eyes. Okay. We're going to do it briefly. We're going to go through the history of sourdough bread. We're going to cover the news. I'm going to dive into some funny, fun, interesting news topics. Cause I've been throwing in the current events recently and what's happening in the world. And, I love it. I like talking. I'm bored. Okay. Hold on. One thing I will say, I actually need to sit up to do a good job. And when I was on the radio, PSA, I was on the radio at one point in my life. I stood up when I was on air hosting because my voice sounded better, and standing up just gives you more energy and you're more on point when you're talking. So I don't know what I'm going to do today. Are we going to sit up or are we going to slouch? I was just like, let's be cozy and curl up in a blanket and let's just chill. And I'm not even going to sit up straight. And we're just going to like go down my list. And anyways, I have a great show for you today. I really want to jump into it. But first, let's do my plugs. Let's get this out of the way first. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please hit that subscribe button and review the show 5 stars while you're there. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jacqueline Monroe, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is a video and audio podcast. You can watch the full length episode on video over on YouTube. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. And finally, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/TJMS, patreon.com/TJMS. Go check it out. It's my little subscription service. It's $5 a month. If you want to support the show, go check it out. Patreon.com/TJMS. Okay, let's get into the life updates, and I'm going to set the scene for you here. But first, I want to mention something that I got smart about, that I had a little epiphany about, right? And I'm like, this is actually going to move the needle for the listeners. It's actually going to help them, and it's not going to be me hosting the show and spiraling into the abyss for the 1100th time, where I ask a bunch of questions and I don't have any answers and I don't look up any answers and I just talk out of my ass about what? What do I always do here? I feel like it frustrates me as I'm doing it, so I can only imagine how this makes you feel as a listener. What do I do? The therapy session, the personal therapy session with myself, the psychology talk. Like, I go in so deep and I go out into the abyss where I'm sitting here and I'm like, why am I the way I am? And what does this mean about this? And what can I do to improve this? And I just ask a bunch of questions and I spiral and I talk it out. I talk out loud, and I don't give anyone any tangible, actual, like, useful advice. Like, I basically, the only advice I give you is it's based on my own reasoning and my own conclusions after I spiral. So whatever I come up with in my head about from that is basically what I share with you and what I advise you to do, versus me going to a professional, aka ChatGPT, and asking it questions and getting actual answers that are well thought out and easy to follow and easy to understand. So today we're going to end the show with a little a ChatGPT therapy session. And I don't know why I never thought about doing this before. I literally ask it questions like I'm talking to a therapist, and it kicks back really helpful answers, like exactly the kind of answers your therapist would give you or your psychologist. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing tool in that way. So I thought that I'd go over some of my curiosities. And one of the curiosities I have is about my love of making sourdough and like why I like that. And what's going on in my brain. And what else did I ask it? I asked it a few questions. So we'll get into the ChatGPT therapy stuff after all the news updates and the life updates. But the truth is this. Like I said, I'm frustrated as I'm doing it. As I notice myself going down the spiral staircase, as Corey would call it. Oh no, she's going down the spiral staircase again. What was I saying? Oh, what do I want to do? Oh, I kind of just want to like put that side of the show to bed after the 400th episode. Like, I feel like I'm kind of like, okay, I'm over it. Like, I'm over all the introspective shit and all the like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, and sometimes like I recently met someone and we were just girl talking or whatever. And they kind of said to me, they're like, hey, like, it's good that you care. It's good that you think really deeply about yourself and are curious about yourself and you want to work on yourself and just like learn about who you are and why you are the way you are and blah, blah. But she's like, fucking relax. Like, you're good. Like you're clearly like doing just fine. I think it can go too far one way where you're overly doing it. And she kind of woke me up to that. And I was like, yeah, I need to fucking stop. So kind of saying this now after the 400th episode, I don't want to talk about mental health, therapy talk, any of that. I'm just over it. I feel like I'm just personally like, it's time, it's kind of like time to, have fun and stop being so serious about, it's like, how come that became well, I know why it became the reoccurring segment or the reoccurring theme of the show, the therapy stuff I do, the introspective stuff. It's because I literally use the show to help heal myself and learn about myself when I was struggling, So now that I'm on the other side, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm looking for things now. I feel like and that's not healthy. It's not good to go, okay, what else is wrong with me? And you're like constantly going to the chalkboard and you're like, writing out every little issue you think you might have or what potential issue you think you might have and what diagnosis is this and what neurological disorder is that. And no, does my sourdough addiction mean that I'm an addict? And is there a connection there in the addictive genetics in the brain or whatever? Like I go into the weeds and it's like, stop searching. You're fine. So that also used to be my mantra. How did we get here? Nothing's wrong with you. You're fine. Look within. You have all the answers. What am I saying? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. So I took a spin class this morning. Yeah, we'll start with that. Life updates. Took a spin class. I wanted to set the scene. I had an iced coffee. I've got a water, an iced coffee, and this Spindrift lemon water. Big fan of these Spindrifts. These are, I don't buy LaCroix anymore. I don't buy Bubblies. I don't buy Waterloos. I don't buy, does Shasta make sparkling water? There was a summer growing up where my dad took us to Kmart. I just had a flashback. He took us to Kmart at the beginning of summer after we got out of school. And we stocked up. I swear he bought like 20 packets of Shasta soda pops, like literal, like root beer, Pepsi, Diet Pep, or, Shasta Pepsi, Shasta Coke, Shasta orange cream soda, Shasta grapes. We went to Kmart and we got a bunch of Shasta cases of what do I say, soda or pop. And then I think we went to like Costco and got the Otter Pop family pack. And I feel like that was his like, okay, we're starting summer. But dude, I don't feel like we weren't like did we drink soda? And do I say soda or pop? What do I say? I don't know. I feel like it was so random. Like, why did we do that? Was it on sale? Like, was it like you get 5 packs for, probably back then it was like 5 for 10, 5 packs for $10. Now it's like Spindrift, like a package of 8 of these is like $8.99. Life update. I stopped shopping at Target, or this week I didn't go to Target. I went to Trader Joe's. So, yeah, these are the beverages. I'm wearing this Catalina. I got this when we got engaged. This terry cloth Catalina little crew neck, little Nike hat. I'm cozy. Cool. So speaking of going to, oh my God, speaking of 2 things, speaking of not going to Target and going to Trader Joe's, I had a Monday this week that was such a, on paper, it was like, wow, this was such a great day. She got so much done. I'm going to read, I literally wrote it all down because I was speaking of therapy talk and spiraling and overthinking every little detail about myself. I literally ended the day Monday and I wrote down every single task because I was kind of forced to write everything down because I ended the day and I was like, what happened? What did I get done? Meanwhile, this is what I did. Okay. Meanwhile, this is what I got done. So riddle me this, Jacqueline, riddle me the, like what? And I should ask ChatGPT instead of doing this spiral right now. I should just ask it like, why am I like this? What does this mean? So on Monday, woke up at 5. It was 4. It was 5, but it was 4 because it was daylight savings. Whatever. Woke up an hour early at 4 a.m., even though it was 5 a.m. Went to the gym. Okay. I did a heavy glute workout. I stopped pussyfooting around with the weights and I said, I am capable of doing 4 plates. Like I know, like basically I get scared to add the 4th plate every single time. So I just don't do it. And then I've been staying at what is it? 315, 3 plates for months now. And it's like, you're not going to get a fatter ass staying at the same weight, bitch. Like you got to up the weight. So I woke up at 5. It was 4, but it was 5. I did a heavy glute lift. I got all the way up to like 460 or something. Came home. Okay. Didn't shower, didn't do any, I think I like fed the dogs, right? But this was my day. I got a car wash. I detailed the inside of my car myself after the car wash because they have the free, what is it? The vacuums and the cloths and the materials to detail your car at this place. It's free with a subscription. The monthly, I do a monthly subscription at the car wash. It's great. So I broke my back cleaning the car, vacuuming it, wiping everything down, getting all the slobber off the side of the doors where the dogs hang their head out, like busted my ass cleaning the car. After I woke up at 4, it was 5, but it was 4, and did a heavy glute workout on a Monday morning when it was dark and cold. I'm just trying to paint the picture that like on paper, like look what she did. I'm not even close to being done with this Monday. Okay. Then I went to, what am I saying? Oh, I'm trying to paint this picture. And then I want to ask you and like, or ChatGPT or myself. It's like, how did I end the day dumbfounded? Like, huh? Like what happened today? I didn't accomplish anything or get anything done. So then, after the car wash, I went to CVS. I picked up a prescription. I guess they're prescribing me Doxy for multiple months for my dermatitis. It's pretty much cleared up at this point. But I wasn't expecting that refill to come through. So yeah, I had to go to CVS and pick up my Doxy prescription. Then I got my nails done. Okay. Corey, we were at where were we at over the weekend? We had, one of my friends is moving away and she had a going away party. And then after that, we ended up getting tacos at this bar. And then at some point during getting the tacos, Corey, it's like he literally just touched my hand and my pinky nail basically chipped off. So I don't know if it was him or the table, or I don't know if it was because I was, at that point I had three beers. I had a hard kombucha. I'm talking about the going away party. I had a hard kombucha. Tasted like a cactus. It wasn't good. I think it was June Shine. I think it's their desert cooler flavor. Not the biggest fan. So I had that. And then I had, I think, 2 Modelo's. And then we dipped. And then at this brewery place, I think I had another beer. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. It's like one of those things. It's like, how did my pinky get messed up? Why did it rip in 2 places? The nail tech, she basically told me, she's like, I don't know how your finger is still on your hand. No, I'm kidding. But like, it literally, like, whatever Corey did, I'm blaming him, because in the moment I was like, wait, because he like touched my hand. But anyway, what am I saying? Oh my God, I'm like so off. So yeah, basically I'm saying that at that point, I don't know how it happened. Because when you're like drinking, you're eating, you're like not paying attention, like you chip a nail or whatever, like that's kind of what happened. So I got my nails fixed at the nail salon. I got a mani-pedi. Took 2 hours because my pedicure was, as he's doing my pedicure, I realized it's halfway over and no one started my nails, because usually they multitask it. So my nails didn't get started until halfway through my pedicure. And so blah, blah, blah. But it was 2 hours of my day. After I had done the workout, got my car washed and detailed, went to CVS. Okay, now we're going to PetSmart. Now we're getting dog food. Okay, we switched the dogs over to Nom Nom. We're doing this thing where instead of having the box show up at our door, we're just going to PetSmart or Petco. And it's like every week we scramble because we're like, oh my God, they're running out, because we don't have the subscription box where it fully stocks you. So we're just picking up like a little bit at a time. And anyways, like, I feel like we need to get that subscription. If we're going to do Nom Nom, we should just have them send the box to us, because it's not like, when you get in a new routine and it's kind of like, why are we doing this? But you keep doing it. And then a month or so goes by, or 2 months, or maybe like you do this for like a year, and you're like, this could be so much more efficient. So we stopped doing Farmer's Dog. Now we're doing Nom Nom. So I picked up after the nails. I went to PetSmart and got the dog food. Then I went to Vaughn's. Okay. This was my Monday. Then I went to Vaughn's. I got a week's worth of energy drinks for the gym and Diet Cokes and Diet Dr. Peppers. And I got all the drinks that Trader Joe's doesn't have. They don't have those like good brands. So yeah, I went to Vaughn's. I run in, I have these heavy cases of soda pops and Alani's, and I'm lugging that through the store, and I'm doing the self-checkout because it's just the checkers of 2025, or just, I don't know how long this has been going on. I every time someone checks out my groceries, except for Trader Joe's, it's an awful experience. And I do profile. I profile the checker before I go up to the checkout area, and I just wasn't going to do it. Okay, they were in high school. It looked like, they were like 16. They hated their job. They were probably stoned. It was like, I'm not doing this. So I did the self-checkout with all those like heavy boxes of DCs and Alani's and whatnot. And I think I got some Celsiuses too. And so then I went to Vaughn's and I did that. Okay. And then I went to Trader Joe's. Okay. Oh no, I somehow went to Starbucks in between and got a coffee. I think I got those egg bites and a coffee. I mean, this is a long haul of a day. Like, let's be honest. And yet I finished the day and asked myself, what happened? Why do I feel anxious? Why do I feel like I didn't get anything done? So then I went to somehow got a coffee at Starbucks at the drive-thru. And then I went to Trader Joe's. That was in between Vaughn's and Trader Joe's. Starbucks. Got groceries at TJ's. Drove home, put all the food away, right? I think I started the oven. Yeah, I did. I walked in the house, immediately put the oven to 450. And while I was putting the food away, threw a loaf of sourdough in the oven. Then after putting the food away, I changed our bedding. Okay. I did that comforter. I did the sheets. I did the mattress topper. I did everything, right? I changed our bedding. That in itself is a workout, right? So I did that. After loading all the groceries into the house and putting all of them away and making the sourdough bread, at one point I planted an herb garden and I made a bouquet of flowers. Okay. Okay, this could just be the episode. I should just end it after this. Like, because now it's going to be 3 hours. But I really like this needs to go to my therapist. Like, it's kind of becoming a broken record at this point. Like, it is so, if you have this kind of mindset or brain, it is so annoying because you're literally doing so much. You're physically moving around a lot. You're getting a lot of tasks done. You're checking off your to-do list. You're going above and beyond. You're making a beautiful bouquet of flowers. You're baking sourdough. I even made dinner that night, right? You're lugging groceries around. You're running through the city, doing all these errands. You're getting your nails done. You're working out. You're doing that. You're getting you're doing all this stuff. And yet you put your head on the pillow every night with anxiety because you're like, I'm falling behind in life. I'm not getting anything done. And there's so much more I need to do. If you've got that brain, it is so annoying because you never feel satisfied. You never feel. And so I actually made a video, like I made a little spiral video on my TikTok about this, related to this. And someone asked me a question. They're like, I could just go to my comment section, but basically they were trying to figure out, like, when I was a kid, were tasks like the list I'm going down right now considered work? And was that considered valuable? And were those things rewarded, or was like work, career, money-making work rewarded? And I thought about it. I'm like, we busted our ass around our house growing up as kids. We did all the chores and we worked hard, and my parents both had careers and they worked, and it was both valuable and both, like, it was instilled in us at an early age that maintaining a household and, like, yeah, all the, like, cleaning, the maintenance, the cooking, the grocery shopping, all of that was valuable. I mean, we helped my mom with it and we helped my dad. Like, we all kind of, like, pulled our weight and did it. So it's interesting that I have this block where I don't see it like that. And I feel like I'm wasting time. And I feel like it's not, I shouldn't be doing it. I should be doing other things that are more important. Right. So anyways, I changed our bedding. Cool. I tidied the house. I picked up the random clutter everywhere from the dogs and from us. And then I vacuumed the whole house, and I vacuumed our couches. I loaded and I unloaded the dishes. I sanitized, like, every surface. I went around with that Clorox, or I use the Lysol lemon spray. Oh my God, it gets worse, or it gets better. Did I say I planted an herb garden? Yeah, I ended up doing that. I threw in like 13 minutes of work stuff, email stuff, podcast stuff, social media stuff. I think I posted a few stories and, like, checked in on TikTok's comments and whatever. I, like, looked at my phone to do, like, work stuff for like 5 minutes. Then I spray tanned. Okay. Then I spray tanned, and then I made dinner, and then I showered my spray tan off after a few hours. 'Cause I did that, like, rapid whatever one from Tanologist. What is it called? Like the 2-hour express. And then I washed Louie. Then I fucking took my bulldog in the shower with me after I washed my spray tan off, and I scrubbed him down. And then I probably went back in the kitchen and made more sourdough. And I'm 100% sure I did that. I finished the night up until the time I went to bed kneading sourdough. So, like, riddle me that. That was my Monday. And I think it's bad. So, like, yeah, anyways, life update. That was my Monday. We're not going to keep talking about it, but I truly had, like, such a great, full, accomplished Monday. And I finished the day. I remember freaking out about it. That's why I wrote it all down. The reason I'm even reading this to you right now, the reason why I'm even going down that tangent of what I did on Monday this week, is because I was feeling so bad and just like, I'm not getting anything done and I have so much more to do, that I was like, I had to write it down to reassure myself that, no, bitch, like, look, this was like a full day. You did a lot. You should feel good. You should go to bed tonight and feel okay. So, hi, I'm I'm a mess. And it's just like, I don't know. All right. So, I'm spring cleaning. Okay. I'm spring cleaning. Yep. Life update. I'm spring cleaning. I got rid of like 6 bags of clothes. What else? Oh, we saw Ron White. I mentioned last week we went and saw Ron White at a casino somewhere in East San Diego. I think it was at the Harrah's Casino here. He was so good. And it's funny because my memory of Ron White isn't Ron White today. It's like, it's him like 10 years ago because when I saw him on stage, I was like, that's Ron White. Like his hair's long now. He's obviously aged since the last time. I've seen like, stand-up clips of him and he looks obviously younger he was younger. So it was crazy like seeing him up on the stage and he's like this old dude now and he's got his big grin, his big smile. And he's just saying, he said, I mean, I laughed the entire time. It was great. But, yeah, cause the people watching was so good. Oh my God, but also like so depressing. Cause something about like fat people, oh my God, am I going to do this? The obesity at this casino, it was just like, it was on display. And it just, when you have a casino full of rough looking people, especially when they're obese and they don't take care of themselves and they're sitting at the slot machines and they're sitting at the buffet and it energetically, like it kind of like, fucks with you a little bit. Like I just felt kind of bad. I was like, I know they're living their life. They're having a good time. They're at the casino. They're playing the slots. You know, they're going to go get what do they eat at the buffet? I don't know, pot roast and mashed potatoes and then like a cheesecake at the buffet after. And then they're going to go see Ron White and have a cocktail or two and laugh their ass off. Like they're like, I have to remind myself it's a projection. Cause I'm like, if I were them, I would be fit. I wouldn't be, you know, like gambling my money away. I don't know. Like I think I project that on them. Obviously I do. And they're probably happy as can be just like me. And it's not a big deal. So yeah, Ron White was incredible. We had such a great time. And I don't know if being around, cause it's when it's all concentrated in one area. The thing is like when I'm in San Diego, it's tits and ass and abs and hot people everywhere. Right. And so it's like, I'm so used to that. And so, anytime for some reason they flock to the casinos when you're around a bunch of unhealthy people and I don't even care. Like, is this like judgy wudgy and is this like bad to say? I don't care. Like it has a vibration, like everything's energy. Right. And like, it made me feel sad. It made me feel like, damn, like they can't even walk. They need a scooter, you know, like their legs are literally the width of my table here. And it's like, it's hard for me to not like think about it when I see it and kind of feel, I take on this, like, I get kind of sad, like shit, you know, I gotta get them on the tirzepatide like I am. I mean, if they only knew, maybe they're on it, maybe they're on their journey, but okay, where are we at? Oh, sourdough. I'm going to read the brief history of sourdough for you. Because I'm doing it for myself too, because I'm personally curious, but I just made a cinnamon raisin loaf for my mother-in-law. These are like the new flavors I've done. So up until this last weekend, I've made plain sourdough. And now, what am I saying? Okay. After this weekend, Jesus Christ, I need to sit up straight because I'm slouching. I made a cinnamon raisin, a jalapeno cheddar, and then I found this list of sourdough topping ideas like bacon and chives, matcha and white. Absolutely not. No, nothing with matcha, please. Matcha and white chocolate, blue cheese and pear. Toasted sesame and nigella seeds, chopped dates and cardamom, roasted sweet potatoes and sage, fresh herbs and garlic, apricots and pistachios, lemon zest and poppy seeds. dried cranberries and walnuts, olives and thyme, sun-dried tomato and basil, roasted garlic and rosemary. Yeah. There's so many things you can add to the sourdough before you bake it. And I'm going to start cranking out new flavors because it kind of, Corey looked at me and I'm feeling this too, even though I had like 4 slices this morning already. He looked at me. He's like, I'm breaded out. Like, I think I'm like, because every single day we're eating sourdough, we're slicing that up, we're toasting it, we're putting butter on it, we're having it with dinner, we're having it with breakfast, we're having it after dinner. It's like around the clock, you know? So he finally looked at me, or he officially looked at me. He's like, I'm breaded out. And I'm like, I will continue. I know you're breaded out, but I can't stop. I can't stop. I'm having too much fun. There's so many things I want to do with it. I want to make bagels. I want to make sourdough cookies. I want to make sourdough cinnamon rolls, focaccia, pizza dough. Like, I want to just expand over here in my little bakery situation. What am I saying? I'm like not okay. You guys, do I need to FaceTime Corey to this has been a theme for like a few shows now, but just stay with me. We're not going to delete this. We're not going to stop recording. So yeah, sourdough history. Let's just get into it. So, sourdough bread, one of the oldest forms of leavened bread, traces its origins back to ancient Egypt, where it was likely discovered by accident around 3000 BC. And subsequently spread to Greece and Rome. Here's a more detailed look at the history of sourdough. So this is in ancient Egypt. Sourdough's origins are linked to the development of agriculture in the Fertile Crescent. Where's that? In Egypt, the Fertile Crescent. Archaeological evidence suggests sourdough bread existed as early as 3000 BC. We read that. It is believed that it was discovered accidentally when flour and water mixtures were left out, allowing wild yeast and bacteria to ferment them. So that's like when you make the starter, the flour and the water. So yeah, it definitely sounds like a happy accident. Like, yeah, a bunch of flour and water were sitting somewhere together. I don't know. They were mixed up somehow. What am I saying? And bubbles started forming and they looked at it. The Egyptians were like, oh my God, it's alive. And then they realized like they can use that to make bread. So sourdough's rise to prominence in Egypt is associated with the development of a staple food where the bread's fermentation process led to a lighter texture and unique flavor. Okay. Then it spread to the Mediterranean. So sourdough bread making gradually spread from Egypt to ancient Greece and the Roman Empire, where it became a common staple. Now, this is 3000 BC, by the way, so it's pretty legit. It's a long time ago. In Greece, sourdough bread was considered a sacred food, sometimes even used in religious ceremonies. The Romans embraced sourdough, expanding its popularity throughout their empire. Sourdough during the gold rush. In the 19th century, sourdough bread became a crucial food source for miners during the California gold rush. Miners, nicknamed sourdoughs, relied on sourdough bread for sustenance during their long and challenging journeys. Sourdough starters were highly prized, sometimes even used as a form of currency. It's so cool. I just love the idea that this little mixture of goo, like the one I made in my kitchen right now, could be used hundreds of years from now. Like it carries on. Generation after generation after generation. It's like, like it seems like it should just mold and go to shit, but like it doesn't. Like it just gets, it's hard to explain. Like I mean, I guess I've never done that, but if you don't touch it, if you just let it sit there on the counter, I'm sure, I don't really know though. Maybe it just stays like alive and I don't know. Sure, people have done that before. Decline and revival. The introduction of commercial yeast in the early 20th century led to a decline in sourdough's popularity as it was faster and easier to use. However, those are those little yeast packets you get, the yeast packets at the grocery store. It's funny because for some reason, when I first started making sourdough, I thought that you needed the yeast to make the starter. Like you put that, like that's what the starter is. You take a packet of yeast and then make the goo from that. I don't know. So it was like wild when I just put flour and water together and it created this beautiful, bubbly, live yeast. So, however, sourdough bread continued to be made in traditional bakeries and by home bakers who appreciated its unique flavor and texture. Today, sourdough is experiencing a revival thanks to the artisan bread movement and the growing interest in traditional and slow food cooking. Sweet. So, there's the little history. It started in Egypt by accident, or it's traced back to Egypt. It happened by accident. It's so great. It's just so great. And since we're on this topic of sourdough, I asked ChatGPT verbatim. I said, what causes a person to like working with their hands? So, like I've mentioned, I am obsessed with making sourdough to the point where if I don't have something going on, I feel like kind of bummed. Like, you know, if I don't have some dough rising, if I don't have something freshly baked, if I don't have my starter doing its thing, like if I haven't really messed with it over the course of a day, I'm like pulled to it. I really want to go in the kitchen and like work on something, right? I mean, it's crazy. Like all of a sudden I picked up this new hobby and I'm obsessed with it and it's all I think about, all I want to do all day and whatever. So, but I'm wondering, or I've asked myself, like, is this because I like working with my hands? I mean, the whole process is very rewarding. Watching your starter grow and feeding it. It's like you're taking care of something. So that obviously feels good to nurture because that's fulfilling my nurturing side, my mothering side, my, you know. And then when you bake the bread and you get this beautiful loaf, like it's the final product and it's like you made that from scratch and that feels really good. So it's all it's just a lot of like, there's a high reward for the effort or whatever. The effort versus the reward is, it tantalizes my brains. I don't know, whatever. So this is what ChatGPT said. Liking to work with your hands can stem from a mix of psychological, neurological, and experiential factors. Let's break it down. So brain chemistry and sensory feedback. Hands-on activities activate sensory and motor pathways in the brain, releasing dopamine when tasks are completed. This reward mechanism makes physical work feel satisfying. This is so me. And it's so funny because like that Monday I talked about, all those physical tasks I did, in general, like I prefer to run around town and do errands and clean the house and organize and clean and cook and all of that. I prefer that. Like I feel like while I'm doing it, I feel like it's very satisfying. I feel like even though I said I didn't feel like I got shit done, like in the moment while I'm doing it, I'm like happy. So it satisfies that area of my brain or whatever that, and it's instant gratification. Like when you see like when you're, I don't know, like folding laundry and you see the pile go from the pile to the little piles to it's put away and now there's no laundry left. Like it's, you know, it makes you feel better. What is that? I don't know. Okay. So kinesthetic intelligence, people with high bodily kinesthetic intelligence, a concept from Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences theory, naturally excel in manipulating objects, crafting, and building things. This is so me. And I talked about this last week about how I'm all three on his, I'm kinetic, visual, and audio. I think those are the three. Is there another one? So I have all three, but kinesthetic, is that how you say it? Kinesthetic means I like working with my hands, I guess. Okay. So flow state and mindfulness, physical tasks like cooking, painting, or woodworking often induce a flow state, that feeling of being fully immersed in an activity. The repetitive, focused nature of these tasks can be meditative, reducing stress and promoting well-being. Yeah. It just, you feel better when you chop some garlic, you throw it in a pan, you like make this beautiful sauce and you do like it's therapy. It's meditative. Childhood experiences and learning style. Growing up in an environment that encourages hands-on exploration can nurture a lifelong love for tactical work. People who learn best through doing rather than reading or listening may prefer physical tasks as adults. Hi, that's me. That might be what I might be majority kinesthetic. Okay, the next one is sense of accomplishment. Seeing physical results like a finished meal, a repaired object, or a piece of art can give an immediate tangible sense of achievement that mental or digital work doesn't always offer. You know, I'd feel, well, I don't actually need to share that. And I actually don't need to go on a tangent right now. I don't need to go down a rabbit hole for no reason. I'm going to catch myself and stop doing that. Like while I'm about to do that, I'm going to stop. If I see it, because I know that would have been random and annoying and too long. And okay. The next one is genetic and evolutionary factors. Humans have evolved as tool users, and that deep-seated connection to working with our hands may be hardwired into us. For some, engaging in physical tasks might feel like an instinctual return to something essential. Huh. I mean, we've been baking bread since before Christ, so, you know, there is something to that. It's like when I build a fire, it feels right. Like it ignites that primal side of me, I guess, that like, because our world is so unnatural to what our environments we live in are so foreign to how we lived for most of time. So little things like planting the herb garden the other day, or making the bouquet of flowers, or just tending to the garden, or literally laying in the sun and getting a sunburn. And, you know, the second it's like, then I pick up my phone and then I'm doom scrolling, and it's like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. The last one is personality and temperament. People with certain personality traits, like high openness to experience, curiosity, or love of novelty, might be more inclined to explore hands-on activities. Likewise, those who enjoy tangible sensory stimulation may prefer manual work over abstract thinking. Huh. Then ChatGPT asked me, what draws you to this question? Are you reflecting on your own preferences or curious about someone else's? Let me know. Actually, I'm just wondering why I like baking sourdough so much. I guess it's because I like working with my hands. We just learned something. Okay. So, I think that's it on the life updates. Do I have anything else? Let's get into the news. Yeah. So, Tiger Woods. This motherfucker. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry. Like, he's the GOAT. We all know this. He's what? Won 82, not majors, 82 wins. He's won 82 times on tour and has 15 majors, right? This man just keeps getting injured, right? And the latest news is he's not going to be, I think he's just like out for this season, and he won't be at the Masters, and he like pulled or ruptured an Achilles during his workout because he was like ramping up his workout or something. He posted like a little thing that he's out and he ruptured his Achilles. So it's just like, I feel like for the golf world, it's frustrating because and I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, it's karma. This is karma. But yeah, that's shitty. What is it? He's had like 2 knee surgeries, back surgery. His foot's all fucked up. He like got in a car crash. He, like it just never ends. And now it's his Achilles. So Tiger Woods is out. He's not going to be in the Masters. That's next month. If you didn't know, it's in April. So I feel like if you're truly, who I think is, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, LeBron is a good example of an athlete that is, he's one of the GOATs, right? And he continues to like he's had a long career and he stays healthy. He doesn't have all these bullshit injuries. You know, and some athletes that are really good, like Tiger Woods, are plagued with injuries. And that's how they leave it. That's how they leave their career. That's how they, you know, walk away from golf or walk away from basketball or football or whatever the sport is. Like they get injured. There's nothing they can do. And then it's over. Even though they were like the greatest of all time at one point, they still are. Like Tiger isn't obviously, you know, I'm not saying he's not, but like, but LeBron, I just thought of LeBron. I'm like, or Michael Jordan. Like, how long did he play? He kind of like washed out after, he didn't wash out, but he had his heyday and then continued his career. But I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like LeBron stays peaking or stays great, even though how many seasons has he played? How many is he in? Like, did Corey say 14 seasons? It doesn't seem like, it seems like more than that. I don't know. Anyways, Tiger's, he's out. He's injured. There's a measles outbreak in Texas, I think, and it came to California and then I think somewhere on the East Coast. So there's a measles outbreak. I don't really understand how the NFL draft works, but the NFL free agent trading draft situation is happening, ? Like, I don't understand it. I think I read that the draft is actually next month and there's like multiple days and there's like an order of how it happens and I don't get it. But all I know is Gino went to the Raiders. Thank God. I can't watch him another season. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. As you know, I'm a Seahawks fan. Geno Smith. What did he have? The most interceptions last season? Or he has like the most interceptions in NFL history. So Geno's going to the Raiders. DK went to the Steelers, which honestly, as he should, like I feel like he needs to be on a different team. He's too good to be on the Seahawks. I'm just saying. Like it could have worked. I don't know. Our team's just like, it's young, it's growing, it's changing, it's learning. We have a new coach. It's gonna be a while. I feel like it's gonna be, I don't know how long it takes to like work the kinks out and get in a groove and build up a team again. But yeah, DK's out. We got Sam Darnold from where did he play? The Vikings? Was he on the Vikings? Sounds right. So yeah, we got Sam Darnold as our quarterback. And then Devontae Adams went to the Rams. They signed him. So those are some of the moves happening, the trading moves happening in the NFL world. And then I guess the draft is next month or the end of this month. I don't know the exact dates where they do the actual moving and shaking. But I think if you have if you're a free agent, this is when you get passed around. So yeah, that's what's going on in the football world. And then Luke Combs has OCD and he was on 60 Minutes and he was talking about it. And as he was talking about it, or I heard someone recap this and I was like, shit, I wonder if me saying, I'm going to stop doing all this therapy talk. I'm going to stop trying to diagnose myself and overthink about myself and blah, blah. And here I am going, Luke Combs has OCD. He gets intrusive thoughts that are really debilitating and paralyzing. Oh, that sounds like something I go through. Maybe I have, fuck. So he was on 60 Minutes and this is this is what he said. So Combs has previously shared that his form of OCD doesn't manifest as repetitive physical actions, such as flicking a light switch or washing hands. Like some people with OCD they count or they do the same thing every single time they walk into a room. They have to spin around 2 times and do a push up and then turn the light switch off 5 times and then they can enter the room. That's not what this is. It's more what he says is, as he explained to 60 Minutes Australia, mine's different. It's all thought-based. I mean, I guess all OCD is thought-based, right? It's thoughts essentially that you don't want to have that you're having. Groundbreaking. It's thoughts you don't want to have that you're having, and then they cause you to stress, and then you're stressed out. And then the stress causes you to have more of the thoughts, and then you don't understand why you're having them. The CMA winner, Country Music Award winner, Luke Combs explained the cyclical nature of his disorder. You're trying to get rid of the thoughts, but trying to get rid of them makes you have more of them. And it's really complex and it's really detailed. It's very tedious to pull yourself out of it. So he's got it's called pure OCD. And let me pull this up here. It's called pure obsessional OCD. I think it's just like pure OCD is the term. So obsessive compulsive disorder is a mental, like, this is a very, like, we're learning, we're reading. It's going to be me reading a lot of articles and shit today. Just go on the ride with me. I hope you're cozy. I hope your toes are warm. I hope that blanket's really that, weighted fuzzy blanket, that heated weighted fuzzy blanket is really putting you in your feels right now as you're listening to this. Hope you have a nice warm beverage. What's really interesting is that the sun's out right now. Like, literally, it's not even raining. And that's sun living in San Diego, I guess. The weather, like, if I check the weather app right now, I swear this rain, it said it was going to rain for the entire week. Oh no, it's 60, partly cloudy right now. So, but it's going to start raining tonight and then through Friday. Cool. So obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, is a mental health condition that is comprised of obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors that are employed to neutralize the anxiety created by distressing and intrusive obsessions. OCD can affect people of all ages, gender, and race, and there are many different subtypes of OCD. So there's pure OCD, relationship OCD, sexual OCD, homosexual OCD, and harm OCD. So the thing I relate to obviously is intrusive thoughts, where I'm like, I get them and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then I'm like, wait, is this me? Are my thoughts me? They're not me. They're my thoughts. And then I have a hard time discerning, am I, me, Jacqueline, thinking these, or is this some sort of hijack happening in my brain where the OCD is talking, or whatever? If it is this, I don't know. And then I should probably get answers, professional help. I do have something this month actually that I'm gonna go get checked. Like, I'm gonna take a test, and it's like the first step of the process. But so yeah, I relate to this a lot, where you're like, but mine aren't debilitating where I can't function. Like, he literally has it so bad. Like, he can't live his life. Like, it really messes him up. But I think, what was the thing I read here? Obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors that are employed to neutralize anxiety created by distressing intrusive obsessions. I think I have, like, I'm obsessed with, if you listen to how I talk, I feel like I probably get put in the overthinker bucket, which I understand. Like, I totally get that. But I'm just curious. I love learning. I'm curious. I love learning. And I feel like when you are curious and you love learning about psychology topics and therapy topics and mental health topics, and behavioral topics, and neurological topics, like, when you're naturally pulled and drawn to that, and you do it and you relate it to yourself, because it's about the human, right? It's about the behavior of the human and the psyche and all of that of the human. So I relate it to myself because that's what it's about. But, like, if you're into ladybugs or rocket ships or shoes, like, no one would look at you and think something was wrong with you, or that you were an overthinker or whatever, because you're into ladybugs, or what did I say? Like leather making. And it's just like your thing you're into. It's like it's like a hobby. But if studying your own brain, if you're into doing that, or if you're into psychology and introspection and human behavior, and you mix what you read with what you experience yourself and you talk about all the time, it just sounds like you're you're an overthinker. Anyways, what did I say? Do I have OCD about? I'm obsessed with like learning about myself, and I'm obsessed with it being obsessed with. It's like a domino effect. I don't know. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm not gonna get all OCD about it right now. Everyone's got a little tinge of something. So yeah, Luke comes as OCD. Moving on. We've got, God bless. That sounds like it sucks though. I mean, for him to say that, I think he's dealt with this for a really long time, but, oh, Corey's calling. Hi, honey. You're on the cast.
Oh, I didn't know you were filming.
I'm about to talk about the Air India flight.
The Air India flight?
Yeah. Did you hear about it?
No. What happened?
11 out of 12 toilets were clogged within the first 5 hours, and they had to turn the plane around and fly back to Chicago.
How is that possible that an airplane has that many toilets?
That's my question. What was going on? They, I guess, found clothes in the toilets and bags and.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's my next topic.
Copy that. Well, I'll call you later. Bye, Jess.
Honey, what are you doing?
Just had lunch and thought I'd give you a ring.
Did you have soup?
Glad I could be on. I did actually.
What kind of soup?
I had chicken noodle.
Is it because it's raining?
Yep.
Is it raining where you're at? Because it's not raining here anymore. It's sunny.
Yeah, it's still wet. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you had soup.
I know.
I wish I could have sent you with some sourdough for your soup.
I know. I need a sourdough break for a couple days.
Well, jalapeno cheddar's coming out of the oven soon. So
I know. It looks amazing, actually.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
It looks amazing. But yeah, well, okay. Love you.
Honey, would you say that I'm an overthinker?
Definitely.
Why?
Because you're a woman.
True.
Because you're a woman. That's what you guys are professionals at.
That's where what? You broke
You
up.
guys are professionals at.
Or do you think I like learning and I'm curious?
However you got to tell yourself.
I guess that's the moral of the story. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. The dogs are good.
Okay, good.
There's a puke, and I found a piece of it's either
Plastic,
mud. I think it's mud from their paw from being outside, but it's kind of looking like something else.
You let them outside?
Well, they were out. They weren't out in the yard. They were on the deck. But I think, yeah, there's a few things in the living room that are looking pretty gross that I got to clean up.
I had to pick up some stuff already. Please pick it up. There was nothing there when I left.
No, it's gross. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, just get it done. Thank
you. I
Bye.
love you, honey. Talk to you later. Okay, bye. It's funny. Yeah, it is kind of like that. Like whatever you got to tell yourself to. Whatever. So Air India. Moving right along. He had soup. That's so cute. He had soup yesterday. Is a man eating soup? Does that? I saw this thing. This girl like unlocked a new ick for her husband, and it's his obsession with eating yogurt. And that is so accurate. Like the way this man he holds his little Oikos or like his little Chobani Greek yogurt cup. It's not like he scooped it into a bowl. It's like one of those personal cups of yogurt. The way he like mixes it up, and then when he puts it in his mouth, he like, or just men eating anything off of a spoon. Why does that make me disgusted? Like, that's like not what. Why is that annoying? The way this man was eating his yogurt, though, like I understand how that was. Or what No other. I dated this guy once, and he was his apartment did not smell good. So that was number one. Number two, he didn't really take the best care of his health. Like, he just didn't really care about being fit or like working out. It was like the only guy I've ever dated that literally didn't work out or care about that, or it wasn't like it was kind of strange. He was good looking, but like he didn't work out. And I'm like, what the fuck? But he like was obsessed. Like, we'd wake up in the morning. He wanted to immediately get a white chocolate mocha from Starbucks and a cheese Danish. And then he would take that back to his place. This was in college, by the way. He would take that back to his place and sit on his couch, his shitty couch, and he'd eat the cheese Danish and the white chocolate mocha. And it was just like, it just turned me. It was like, meanwhile, I have a black coffee, you know. Was I even drinking coffee? I was vegan probably then. What was I even drinking? Yeah. So, Corey ate soup, and that's cute. And, you heard him though. He's like, I need to chill on the bread for a couple days. The thing is, I will say this about sourdough, like when you make it homemade, I mean, I'm using it for fuel at this point for my workouts. 'Cause obviously, I don't know if it's the best source of carbs, but like, it's definitely helping me. It's giving me energy for my workouts. But one thing I'll say is it doesn't weigh you down. You eat it and you're not like, you don't feel sick. You don't feel too full. Like, it's a really clean bread. It's like you're eating bread, but it's not doing anything. It feels like it doesn't stick to you. I don't know. It just, and that's why people that are they have gluten intolerances can get away with eating sourdough because it doesn't hit the body like a piece of like regular white bread or store-bought. Any bread from the store is just shit. In fact, my mother-in-law, I think I told her, I was like, there's only 3 ingredients in this bread you're eating. And so then she sent me a picture of, she got this bread from the grocery store. And I think she's now like super aware of how many ingredients go in store-bought bread. And she sent me the picture. I mean, you can't even pronounce 90% of the ingredients. It's awful. I think it was from the bakery at Vaughn's. Like, it wasn't, she didn't get sourdough. She got a different type of bread, but, yeah. So it really goes to show you, like, cause if I eat any like bread from the grocery store or like a Thompson, bagel or an English muffin, even the Ezekiel breads, the really multi-seeded, multi-grained, apparently gluten-free bread, like I'm telling you, like, this sourdough, it's like, it's neutral. It's chaotic. What is it? It's like neutral. It doesn't hit the body in a bad way. It doesn't make you feel too full. I could talk about sourdough for the rest of the episode, but instead we're going to talk about Air India. Yeah, I kind of talked about it already with Corey here, but apparently this flight coming out of Chicago, this Air India flight, within the first 5 hours, had 11 out of 12 toilets clogged with polyurethane bags. Is that what I read? It's like, let me read this. Yeah, I'm looking at the picture here. It looks like they have the tube with all of the fecal matter / the rags they found. They found like clothes, rags, and bags in the pipes of these airplane toilets. Yeah, polythene bags. Yeah, but how does this happen? My question is, like, literally, how does this happen? It's a big plane. It's going to Delhi. Is that how you say it? Delhi, Delhi, from Chicago. I believe it's nonstop. Probably a huge plane. Probably a Boeing or an Airbus A3. What's that big motherfucker? Airbus 370 or something. What one am I thinking of? It is so big. It's like the biggest commercial plane. So it's a big plane. But how does this happen? Like, was someone trying to, did someone like, is this them trying to get rid of evidence? Like shedding of their clothes? Like, in multiple toilets so that it spreads out. So like if you put if you like murdered someone and you get on a plane and you're trying to like get out of the country and go to India, do you strip your clothes or have a bag with, I don't know what was going on. I mean, why were there clothes in these toilets? Why were there bags in these toilets? So I'm thinking like, if you're a person trying to get rid of evidence and whatnot, you get on a plane to another country and you go to multiple bathrooms on the plane and you shed a few things at a time so they're all in different septic tanks so that there's no way to connect the dots. Can they fingerprint sewage? Can they trace fingerprints if it's been shit and pissed on? Was this a terrorist attack? Like, this is giving terrorist attack. Like, all these people are on a plane. It's probably 12 hours plus to get to Delhi. No one can take a shit or a piss because all the toilets are clogged. I don't know. It's like they had one toilet free in business class. Why are there 12 toilets on this plane? I have so many questions. Why are there 12 toilets on this plane? How many I know it's a big plane. I guess that's like when you're going overseas. It's got a lot more toilets than a smaller, like a 737. Yeah. And Air India said an investigation later found polythene bags, rags, and clothes that had been flushed down and stuck in the plumbing. I'm going to play these TikToks from people that have flown Air India because it's kind of tells you everything you need to know about this airline. Okay, this was posted last September. So here we go.
Come with me on the worst first-class cabin I've ever been on. This is Chicago to Delhi nonstop Air India. It was $6,300 one way or 250,000 miles. Look at how gross this is. There was hair in there, things moving in every compartment. Everything was ripped, ruined, or had mildew on it. I understand regular wear and tear, but this was next level, guys. This was a warm towel that came out, which was served cold. They had a collab with Ferragamo. This was decent. There was PJs that were pretty soft. And then there was headphones that came out that were untangled and they had mildew on them. Everything was just ripped, broken. Look at this. This could easily be wiped out with Lysol. This was a food menu. It looked very promising, but of course, 30% of these items were not even available. They only had one of each item, and there was only 4 of us in the entire cabin, and it was basically a first come, first serve. This was the first nuts that came out. They didn't even put a tablecloth over it. Then she forgot, so she came back with the tablecloth. This was a samosa. It was very average. This soup was absolutely delicious. It was the only good thing on the flight. Of course, 15 hours, no entertainment. The entertainment system did not work the entire 15 hours. Everything was broken. They literally put tape on the walls to tape that stuff down. She came back, they reset it 4 or 5 times, nothing worked. It was a nightmare. I raw dogged this flight. It had no Wi-Fi on this flight. I took all of the freebies home. Come with me on the worst first.
God. Clean it up. I mean, that is disgusting. I wish you could, well, if you go online, you could see the video. But that is like, how does it get like that? Ugh. And then this guy posted, $6,300 for that. I'm sorry. This guy posted. Hold on.
My Air India flight from New York to Delhi was a disaster.
This was in August.
A literal sliding table, broken headphone jack, which did not matter because the TV did not work. At least their food is good, right? Meal 1, kali mirch chicken, vegetables and rice. The chicken did not just lack kali mirch but even salt. But this chocolate pudding could become a staple in my everyday diet. Meal 2, chicken biryani with salan. It had just one tiny piece of chicken with 7 bites of rice. With no entertainment, I just stared out the window dreaming of what I'll eat when I get home until they served up this chicken kathi, which either was delicious or I was just starving. As I thought to myself, never again, I realized I have to take the same flight back in a month.
Oh my God. Okay, there's one more. This is not looking good for Air India.
Everything that went wrong in my 15-hour Air India flight. Namaste, I'm Pavi, and first, the seat reclining button was not working. It was broken, so I couldn't recline my seats. The second seat they gave me, the tray table was missing. And the third...
Okay, you get the point. I mean, it's like you got to go Qatar or you got to go Emirates. You got to go Korean Air, I think, is a good one. I'm sure Koreans probably. I mean, not to stereotype, but like this tracks. That's what people like. The comment section is all like, as an Indian, like they're like, yeah, this is. I wouldn't expect anything less. I'm like, fuck. And then people are like, I've been to India before. It was one of the dirtiest countries I've ever been to, and I'm not surprised. And I'm like, shit. So, yeah, I don't get it though. Like, what? There's got to be. What else can I read about these clogged toilets? One photo showed a crew member holding a drainage pipe completely stuffed with what appeared to be rags. I guess they got over Greenland and then turned around. I'm not sure why they didn't go like land in London or something and keep it moving. They went all the way back. Only Air India has frequent mishaps. Honestly, what has happened is indefensible, one user said. But others pointed out that the airline could not be held responsible for the situation. Can we honestly dump all the blame on Air India and the crew when people can't follow basic travel etiquette? Ugh. Ugh, I can't look at the picture. It's grossing me out. Okay, so that's what's going on in the air travel industry. The plane did stay in the sky. Can we focus on the positives here? The plane stayed in the sky. It safely landed back in Chicago. All passengers have a pulse and they're walking freely. They had to probably rebook that flight and figure it out. And that was probably a bunch of bullshit to deal with. But I would have just shit my pants. Like I would have. If you're already making the news, if you already know this plane's making the news, because clearly, like if after the 11th toilet got clogged, if you're a passenger, just if you're sitting there and you're like, you gotta know, okay, yeah, this is, people are taking videos. There's all these videos on TikTok and shit of people standing around the plane. So you're already, you're making the news. It's like, I would take advantage of that. And I just drop trowel and, I don't know. Why am I gross? I don't know why I get like that. So I said we're going to round the episode out with therapy ChatGPT talk or session. Now, this is what I want to say. I'm not going to tell you what I wrote in it because it's like my entire life story, but this is what I can offer you or prompt you to do, because this is like everything. So when you go to therapy, in my experience, like what happens with me is I will pick a topic or a subject and that's what we'll talk about the entire session. And it's like one thing. I mean, usually maybe there's a few over the course of the hour, but we hash out one major thing. So what I just did with ChatGPT is I brain dumped my life story and this is what I'm asking or telling, or Jesus Christ, I'm suggesting you to do is do a brain dump on ChatGPT of your life story, of all of the things you've been through, all the bad things you've been through. Cause like, let's be honest, like that has a bigger effect on how you turn out, or cause that's the thing you're trying to solve is the negative shit, the trauma shit, the bad things in your life. So brain dump all of the awful things that have happened in your life and then ask ChatGPT, like, what are potential behavioral, neurological, social issues of a person who has this life history? And then it'll kick back. It'll go by category. Like for me, it pumped out behavioral and psychological effects. After I put it in, this is what it kicked back. Under behavioral and psychological effects, it said I'm potentially could have a low self-esteem and body image issues, perfectionism and achievement-driven identity, hypervigilance and anxiety, complex trauma and emotional dysregulation, trust and intimacy issues. And then under neurological and cognitive effects, it says that I potentially could have a hyperactive stress response type, emotional processing and memory bias, reward seeking or maladaptive coping, And then under social and relational effects, it says fear of rejection and people pleasing, difficulty setting boundaries, attraction to unhealthy relationships, empathy and advocacy. And then it tells you like what potential strengths and resilience factors could come with all of this. And it says maturity and self-awareness. This is so like what we've been talking about the whole episode. It says being mature for, because I think I wrote like always being told I'm mature for my age. Being mature for your age, or being told you're mature for your age, could indicate a well-developed capacity for introspection, which could be a powerful tool in therapy and personal growth. The other one I got is work ethic and discipline. So I have a strong capacity for perseverance, which can translate into personal success and healing. I would agree with that. Then it said faith and values. Her Catholic upbringing and traditional values might serve as a grounding moral framework, providing a source of comfort and guiding her towards community and connection. So this is cool. What I like about it is it's instant, right? You write something in, you ask it a question you ask it like a question you ask your therapist, and then it kicks back something you can quickly read and kind of get a grasp on. And it's free. Hi, it's free. Free therapy, but obviously see a professional. Don't rely on ChatGPT, but it is I don't know why I just thought of doing this, because I think when I get in these situations where I'm anxious and I'm freaking out and I'm like trying to, like on Monday, it's like, why don't I just do this right now? Or no, did I already ask it this question? Let me type in, hold on, to like straddle my microphone for a sec. Why don't I type in, why when I finish everything, let's just say everything on, it's not everything on my to-do list, but let's just, on my to-do list, do I never feel accomplished? And I have anxiety and feel, you can kind of run on sentence ChatGPT, and she's got you. She knows what you're trying to ask. And feel like I didn't get anything done, ? Well, let's just see what it says. I don't know if that was like the right way of phrasing it, but let's see. That feeling of anxiety and emptiness, even after finishing your to-do list, is something a lot of people experience, especially if they're ambitious, perfectionists, or have tendencies linked to neurodivergence or anxiety. Hi, let's dig into why it might happen. Dopamine chase. Oh yeah. Checking off tasks gives you little hits of dopamine, but once the list is done, the brain might crash from that high. If you're used to being in go mode, the sudden lack of things to do can feel unsettling, like your brain is looking for the next thing to latch onto. Moving goalposts. If you're naturally driven, your brain might constantly shift focus to what's next rather than pausing to feel satisfied with what you've already done. It's like climbing a mountain and immediately looking for the next peak instead of enjoying the view. Let me read this one I asked in my phone, because I feel like it phrased something so perfectly. Here we go. I've got it pulled up on my phone, and I asked a similar question yesterday, but it dove into, I think the way I asked it, made it dive into my childhood a little more and how I was, parented. Because here we go. High expectations from caregivers. If parents or authority figures set high standards, even subtly, you might have internalized the idea that you're never doing enough. And that's like my whole thing. I always feel like it's never enough. It's never enough. And I think because I've tied my identity and my self-worth to, what does it say here? Even well-meaning praise like you're so capable, you can do anything, can sometimes translate to pressure to always perform. So I think it's because I have extremely high personal standards, and that was instilled in me as a young kid because which I think is great. Like, it's positive. Like, we were kind of always taught that we should have our shit together, you know, like you should take care of yourself, your health, obviously number one, have a clean house, comb your hair, put yourself together, be polite, like work hard. You know, we did a lot of manual labor growing up around the house and for my grandparents, and, you know, I would mow people's lawns, and we did a shit ton of landscaping and gardening stuff and working with animals and feeding animals every day before school. Like we were very like, we worked really hard. And I think that is where, how does this connect to this question I asked up here? Shit. Are we on the same question? Oh, wait, like topic? Oh, like, why do I feel like even if I do a bunch of stuff in a day, I never feel like it's enough. I never feel satisfied or accomplished. I don't allow myself to feel that. I don't know. And did this go in here? It says, the one over here says lack of intentional celebration. So this is what I need to have a party for myself at the end of the day. And I'm going to start doing this with Corey. I think this is a good exercise. Is I'm going to get those little party poppers at the dollar store, and I'm going to pop the little thing at 5 o'clock or whenever the day ends, 6, 7. And I'm going to say, I am enough. I did enough. I am accomplished. I worked hard today. I am okay. I am not a loser. And I am making progress towards my goals. And there's nothing wrong with me. And I'm not a lazy piece of shit. And did I take a nap today? Yes. I was only 20 minutes. That's totally fine. That's only 20 minutes. The day's 24 hours. Like, you don't feel anxious that you did that at 12:30 because that's it's what works for you. And you still got a lot of stuff done. Like, you finished everything you wanted to get done today. Like, you know, so I guess it says, yeah, lack of intentional celebration. If you don't consciously take a moment to acknowledge your progress, your brain might not register the achievement. Without that intentional pause, it can feel like nothing meaningful happened, even if you were super productive. Someone asked me a question too on that TikTok I posted. Okay, is this where are we at on time? I was like, damn, that's kind of deep. They go, what would happen when you finished a task as a kid, and how did your parents respond? I don't know. I just feel like when you're in a strict household and there's a lot of discipline and the expectations are high, and you also go to Catholic school and you wear a uniform every day, and I think it's good for a kid. It's like, it was very militant and very structured and organized, but I kind of always felt like I was in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, I always felt like someone's watching me and I'm fucking up and I'm in trouble. Like, I didn't do, like, if I didn't put the dishes in the dishwasher the right way, I heard about it, you know, like it was very detail oriented around the home, to the point where you kind of had to be perfect, you know, and act. I mean, this is just what I'm recalling off the top of my head. It's probably a little exaggerated, or a lot. Cause I mean, it's not like my parents were like, you have to be perfect and you have to do, but it was without being said, it went without being said. So I think when you grow up like that, you in turn, you know, set high standards for yourself personally as an adult once you are off on your own. And it's so wild because, like, this is how we're going to end the episode. Cause or what did someone else ask me? They go, sounds like you were conditioned to not see those tasks as real work. Did anyone around you growing up act as if only salaried work was worthy? This gets into the whole, like, stay-at-home mom conversation, the whole, like, invisible labor, mental load conversation. That's like a whole thing. Salaried work versus unsalaried, but just as important work, like mothering young children and not working a job at the same time. So you're staying at home as a mom, but that's not rewarded in society like having a career is, where you earn a paycheck. You know what I mean? So that's like that's a topic for a different day. But what was I saying? Oh, I had like a good round ending, and then we're going to end the episode and wrap it in a bow and like throw this away after episode 400. We're not talking about this shit ever again. I think of myself a certain way, and I think of the type of person. Like, I think of, like, I have a model in my head of the ideal version of myself, and I feel like I'm always trying to chase her. and I'm always trying to live up to that personal standard of who she is and how she lives her life and what she gets done in the course of a day. And it's perfect, right? It's like, what's the best version of me? That's what I have to be. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself to live up to that every day. And it's not that it's not attainable, because some days I attain it. Some days I kill it. Some days, like honestly, on Monday, I killed it. That was a great day. But when I'm not killing it on the days where it's like an off day and I don't have the energy to do it all and be it all and perform and be perfect and get everything done and achieve. Like, I'm really hard on myself, and I'm not good at just going like, oh, it was just a wash of a day or like a bad day. And it doesn't mean I'm a bad person and I'm a lazy piece of shit, but that's how I talk to myself, and that's not cool. So yeah, it's a dumb mind game I play with myself or whatever. And it doesn't serve me. It's like, what do I do? So it's like, okay, hey, you know what? We're going to get to episode 400. We might talk about this one or two more times. We're almost there. Okay. We're almost there. And, I'm going to promise that to you as a listener. Thank you for being here, by the way. I hope you're enjoying this episode. It's a little, I don't know what this episode was, but honestly, here's what I'll say. Other than this, like, shit on a plane, well, what was it? The clogged toilets on the plane story. Like, there's not a lot happening right now of interest to me, like, in the world. I mean, obviously there's so much going on, but like nothing at the same time. I mean, what was I reading? Eggs in Tijuana are like $32 a carton because of the tariffs or something. And Canada's clapping back and Trump's putting his foot down, and, you know, shit's happening with politics and the world and war. And God, I saw this awful video. It's like, you know, when you just see like a clip and you're like, oh, fuck this. It's like men on all fours crawling on the ground. I guess they were Christians in Syria, and they're all getting executed. Like, that's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so much is happening that's awful. And here I am, talking about myself and my problems, and it's just like, sometimes I get annoyed. That's why I want to like stop doing that after episode 400. But honestly, like, nothing in the world was happening of interest where I was like, I need to talk about this. This is a big story. Like, Luke Combs has OCD, and that's something I sort of kind of related to. And then it's like the planes, toilets were clogged, and aviation news is a hot button topic right now. It's spring. We sprung forward. I saw Ron White. He was funny. Like, and let's do some ChatGPT therapy, because it's actually kicking back useful, tangible advice that is better than me talking on my ass and not coming up with any answers. And also, we talked about sourdough and cinnamon raisin sourdough, jalapeno cheddar sourdough, Tiger Woods rupturing his Achilles, the measles outbreak. I guess like that was a major topic this week in the news cycle, the measles outbreak. And it's like, I don't know how bad it is. It's not like how bad I honestly, is it bad? Am I like totally missing something here with the measles outbreak? We talked about the NFL trades. What else? Yeah, I don't watch reality TV. I just don't. It's like, but the truth is when, and I'm so chill about like, I'll kind of watch whatever. Usually Corey and I come up with like, we'll settle on something and we're both happy. But before I met Corey, when I chilled at night, like when I, you know, like my pre-bedtime chill sesh was like, I turn on YouTube, I watch vlogs, I watch Claire Saffit's, like cooking videos, I watch home tours, interior design, interior decorating videos, like I turn on, podcasts. I would literally watch, like my favorite thing was I'd watch Two Bears, One Cave, Tom and Bert just sitting there, and I literally watch the full episodes. I do that with other podcasts too. Like I would lay down on the couch at night and just watch the podcast on YouTube. And then if I watch TV or Netflix, like once a quarter, maybe, if that, probably like twice a year, I'd get into a show and like binge watch it. And like that was it. And then it was like, plus, you know, watching the show plus the doom scrolling. And then I was obviously on TikTok. But now I don't do that. Now it's like Corey lays down on the couch, he turns the TV on, and I just kind of go with it. And I'm not like, hey, can we watch what kind of like vloggers did I used to watch? He's watched some vloggers with me, but I just don't have an interest anymore. Like, it doesn't serve me like crime docs do, or like really good movies do, or I would rather do that now. I don't watch but I hear the point of me saying this is I hear about reality TV all day long, every day. Cause like, hi, I'm a toaster. I love listening to the toast. I love listening to their recaps of all these shows they watch. And I'm like, I feel so out of the loop. I don't know anything about anything. Like, what even is Southern Charm? I hear about it all the time. I have no idea what it is. There's Southern Charm talk. There's Love is Blind is everywhere. I think Corey and I watched a couple episodes. That's where they're like behind they don't see each other and they like date it's like anonymous, and then they decide who they like based on their conversation, not how they look. And then, so I get the gist of it, and it's a huge show, and I don't watch it. My guilty pleasure though, I love watching the Kardashians. I don't care. I love like people. The show is obviously evolved and changed over time, but I just love looking at like, what are they doing? Like, what kind of decor is happening in their house, in their kitchen, on their counter? Like, what kind of display? Remember when Chloe made those damn cookie jars? She had those glass jars with the perfectly lined up Oreos around the jar, and that was on her counter. Like, I'm obsessed with like, what's their latest thing? Like, how are they decorating? I just love looking at their homes. I love looking at their clothes, and just like, it's I don't care. Like, I know we're kind of sick and tired of the overconsumption of it all, and the gluttony of it. I don't know. They're just like gluttonous pigs, those Kardashians. No, it's like so over the top. Everything's been done. Every party they throw for their kids is just out of control, over the top. Even for their own parties, it's like so much, and we've seen it all. It's kind of like they've done it all, so we're kind of all like, we're a little fatigued by that, because at first it was novel. It was like, ooh, like this is insane. Their wealth and their beauty and their homes and their lifestyle and everything about them, right? It was so like intriguing, and I think we're kind of, or I'm talking about myself personally, like it's kind of like now. It's not as stimulating, but I love watching it. I'll watch it. I think I need Hulu, right? Are they on Hulu? Thing I haven't watched yet, that the show I really want to watch is the who's the mom that what's her name? 7, 8 Passengers. The mom that was abusing her children, she's in prison now. Her son was found emaciated by the neighbor. He like, what's her name? Whatever, that bitch. I want to watch that documentary. I believe it's on, is it Hulu? Peacock? Oh, I also want to watch the Paul American, the Paul brothers new reality show. I mean, here's the thing about Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Okay, Logan pisses me off, and I love that in their teaser for the series, like the new show, Jake had like texted him, or was he Logan reading out loud that Jake called him like a narcissistic asshole, pig with you have no friends. Like, he was like reading this out loud, something that Jake said. And I feel like Jake talks about Logan to his face, or like texts him and whatever. He talks about Logan, or talks to Logan, how like, I feel like a lot of people feel about Logan, or what they think. And that's his brother, right? So, Logan pisses me off. Jake doesn't. I think Jake's like, but I also like Logan. Like, the thing is I honestly, it's like, don't like hate Logan. But he pisses me off. I don't know. It's just his arrogant, cocky. He just comes across like, but you got to give it to him. It's kind of like hard to look away. And I think that's their whole thing. Like it's attention is the currency. And like, whether people are hating us or loving on us, like we're going to keep doing our thing and we're going to make money off of it. Like, fuck it. You know, they're just they have that fuck it mentality. And I think it's like really, I don't know. I've always been inspired by them because they keep it moving. They're constantly putting shit out. That's awesome. You know, they're great at that. They're great at curating attention on themselves. And now with this new show, I think it's going to show a more like in-depth view of their life, even though we've seen it all like through YouTube vlogs and whatnot. I've really grown up with them, but yeah, I feel like Jake is like, he's like with it and Logan's like in outer space, you know? But yeah, anyways, am I going to end this episode? What time did we start? Did I say it was like 11 in the morning? It was 11 and now it's 1:30. So let's wrap it. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please hit that subscribe button and review the show 5 stars while you're there. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jacqueline Monroe. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is a video and audio podcast. You can watch the full length video of the podcast on YouTube. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. And finally, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/TJMS, patreon.com/TJMS. Go check it out. It's $5 a month. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/TJMS. And yeah, let me know if there's anything you want to see me talk about. I mean, after episode 400, like let's kick it into 5th gear and switch some things up because I'm kind of feeling that I'm not, I've kind of said it all. Like you kind of get to a point as a solo podcaster where you're like, what else can I say? What else can I talk about? And that's why I lean on like what's happening in the world, the current events, because that's always going to be fresh. That's always going to be new. That's always going to be interesting. So I'm kind of sick of talking about myself and my problems and problems that I'm probably making up. A lot of shit I'm making up. So dumb. I like, you know what's happened? And I'm not going to end the episode, but this podcast at first was really good for me because it helped me work things out, right? Like it healed that side of me that my issue was I didn't like myself. I would say for a long time, I just kind of hated everything about myself. And I always wanted to be someone else. I always wanted to be different. So the podcast really healed that side of me. And it, for the first time in my life, allowed me to, or it made me feel like, oh, I'm cool. Like like I like myself, you know? So that it was at first very good for me in that way. And it corrected that self-worth thing, that self-love thing. And it made me see myself in a positive light in a better way than I had for the longest time. So then I think it gets to the point, and this is where I feel like I'm at now, and it kind of needs to stop. And this is why I want to bite it in the ass after episode 400, where it kind of has, and obviously life has happened. You've seen me through multiple relationships and getting engaged and buying a home and turning 30 and getting a dog and getting married and yada, yada. So like, obviously my life has evolved and changed, but it's kind of getting to the point now where I don't want to always be talking about, because it's not healthy. Like the problems or potential problems that I have and things that I should explore and research and learn about myself. Like at the end of the day, it's like, bitch, you're fine. You're doing just fine. Maybe my next journey will just be like celebrating all the positive things that I'm doing and just focusing on that instead of like, what's wrong with me and what should I do to change and work on myself? It's a overcorrection in my opinion, because I think it's definitely an overcorrection because my whole MO or whatever is I try to emulate and I try to act and I try to, or I don't try, I am. And I prove this to myself and the people around me. Like I'm trying to do the opposite of what in a lot of ways, like my parents did. And sounds effed up, but like, I'm like, or people in my life that had a negative impact on me. I'm trying to go, okay, what was it about them that I didn't like? How can I do the opposite and be the opposite and live my life different than how they lived it in a more positive, healthy way, because those people suck and I don't want to act like that and be like that and live my life like that. So I'm hyper aware of that and I don't want to be anything like it. So then it's like I'm course correcting. I'm trying to create a change with myself in my life and make sure that I don't act that way in my relationships and with other people, and that I'm not hurting people because of my behavior. And so I'm always trying to think about it and talk about it. And, you know, you get the idea. So, but yeah, it does get to a point where it's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. It's like my friend. She's like, the fact, but she said like the fact that you think about it, a lot of people they're all fucked up. They have shitty relationships. They're the worst kind of people because they're not conscious of it. They're not aware of it. And so the fact that I do care and I do talk about it, and I do think about it is positive, but hey, bitch, sit down. You're fine. You've figured it out. You know, so I don't want to keep bringing it to the podcast. And moral of the story is let's talk about what do I want my new personality to be? Because this therapy shit's over. I'm like over it. Obviously sourdough's like my new personality, but I want to change I want to like rebrand how I host this biatch but maybe I know people love it. And that's the thing is I get so many comments and people that reach out and they'll say, or just through word of mouth, like someone will be like, oh, my friend so-and-so listens to your show and they said this about blah, blah, blah. I get that it's helpful. Like I get when I talk about myself and work on myself on the show here, it helps people, but I do feel like I'm digging a hole for myself that's like not necessary. So, but I do think like at the end of the day, I'm like through doing all of this and through learning about myself and through therapy and through talking to people and reading ChatGPT and podcasting week in and week out. Like, yeah, I think the moral of the story in conclusion, I'm probably on the spectrum and that's okay. I'm not like mad about, I mean, it is what it is, but I haven't officially gotten diagnosed, but like there's something it's ADHD, let's be honest. And that's like, who doesn't have ADHD in 2025? So it's not a big deal. It's not like, oh my God, she's got this big issue. She's going to get diagnosed with some big spectrum neurological psychiatric disorder. It's like not even that serious. So many people I know, most people I know have ADHD, but I think that's probably what sets or holds me back. And that's probably why I get so frustrated. Like on Monday, I think that's classic ADHD is like your to-do list, your relationship with your to-do list is very toxic and it never feels like it's, I don't know. You always feel defeated and look at me. I'm killing it. I'm working hard. I'm putting content out there that I honestly don't love. Like, I'll be honest, like, and I just ended the episode, did my plugs, but we're still podcasting. Like, I was just listening to Andrew Schultz talk about this on Rogan, how it's healthy and it's good to walk away from your art for a little bit and to take a break from it and reflect and evaluate and maybe go back to the drawing board and you know, rebrand or whatever, and then go back to it after a while. Like, I think that's healthy because I feel like right now I'm kind of there. I'm like, okay, it's time to shift. So you guys are coming along. Like every episode recently, I feel like you can kind of tell that's where my brain's at. So much so where I've even considered like, fuck this. I'm going to like quit for 6 months and then come back to it. Live life a little bit. Like redesign the graphics. I don't know, like come out with a new colorway, or like I definitely need a new cover, podcast cover, because who is she? Like, I don't even, like, that girl was, that's like before I had tits. And I'm literally like, my arms are up. But yeah, like redesign the cover art, rebrand my thing and whatever. But I'd rather just take you along the entire journey and never stop and talk about it here and whatever. Okay, let's end the show. Thank you so much for hanging out. Subscribe, like all the things I already said 5 minutes ago before I spiraled. Do all the things. And yeah, message me if there's anything you want to see or anything like. I like feedback. Like, sure, like I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about, but if there's something you want me to cover more of, I'll have a chat. Like, hit me up in the DMs. Oh my God. Okay. Love you. Talk to you next week. Bye. Overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes